plays. And look, Mike Jackson is in a perfect position here. He doesn't bite on the double move. I mean, this is textbook as far as the technique.
They're just watching. The ball never touches.
Well, guess what? This guy is amazing. Runs a double move, hitch and go, and he taking all day. That stack receivers, gets the defensive backs. That time they lock it, and Arn.
Watch him at the top of the round. Oh, Wiggins has no chance. An excellent job with his head in the second round, and just the kind of player you want on your team. And this is tough sledding. He's by himself, press man-to-man coverage, does an excellent job pushing him to the boundary.
Lawrence known for his ability to create some releases just like that, even against Pat Surtain, who is unity. Oh, he definitely fell down and barely got back up. The one thing that we heard from Dan Quinn was that Burks was so hungry for action.
And by A.J. Brown, he's up against Nashawn Wright, who's had a great year, kind of out of nowhere. But there's the move, and then he has to come back, and the strength of his hands to pull that.
It's a corner blitz. McDuffie blitzes. It's a different route, and you see CD put his finger up, and he goes, I'm going deep. And the adjustment that we've seen Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey,
Tyson Campbell, and the trade that happened and brought him over. See the jam at the line of scrimmage, and then they're both.
not only can he stop the run, he takes away basically the #1 receiver today.
And what we're seeing from Geno, these are the tight splits again. Guys close to the formation and a beautiful hesitation move.
For Riley Moss, he has had so many pass interference calls this year. Look at him. That time he got his head back around.
He's been doing it for 13 years by himself on Dax Hill. The outside release, just throw it to him.
I love Brian Branch, one of my favorite players in the league. He can kind of an all-pro type safety, physical, but then he
simply can't leave this guy by himself. Chase on Humphrey, a first-round pick. Gilman goes to the middle of the field, isolating Chase on the back.
Touchdown for Jackson.
Yeah, pretty common route combination, something Rams do all the time.
There is no foul for a blindside block. It's a touchdown.
Mike Jackson just...
What a concept. Watson one-on-one. On Robertson, the out and then the up. And that ball's just in the air. Such a long throw and catch off his back foot. Wicks with Branch right in his hip pocket. You cannot be any tighter than
early part of the broadcast. Like, this is the matchup that you're going to like all game long. Coker is a big target. Going up against...
Combination by Detroit is we're going to combo it. The first one outside and read. But Pickens just going up. I'm running a go route. Nope, goodbye. That's ticky-tack call, but won't matter. But you see he misses the blitz pressure. That's twice.
Field goal team out. Yeah, this tough cover here by Drew Phillips on Stephon Diggs, but he hangs in his hip pocket there pretty good. It was going to take...
Player of the year. Watch this. And Terry McLaurin, we've been talking all night about how good he is. Little contact there, but the...
Two slants inside, and what a move. Do you see the way that he makes him feel vertical and then comes back inside, Jim? Impressive.
They spotted it, Tony, actually all the way back to the 3-yard line for a control as he brought it in. Watch as he brings it in right there. That tip of the ball doesn't even touch.
Barry Albert, who did we say needed to get involved for the Jets? It was Adonai Mitchell, and he runs right by Mike Hughes. That ball hangs.
Sometimes when you go fast, it's less thinking and just getting the ball out of your hands and trusting your receivers to win. They're going to end up going.
It was great coverage. It's just a better throw, route, timing. You're all...
Vikings McCarthy. Nick Emanwari, the young rookie, who I really like. I think he's got a really bright future, kind of a hybrid.
By Chris Godwin here, he's going to come across the field. He has to get the release. We talk about that, right? That's kind of bumpy in there. And that's where he gets the separation from
yard line. You just see that slight little hesitation in, then out, gets him the leverage that he needs.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a one route and done, but you can see when you're stressing that foot, if it's the bottom of the foot, the heel area, what you're going to
make a double move as you see Pearsall go to the outside. Now watch as he stems up. He releases to the inside and then pivots to the boundary. The only way as a quarterback you can do that is if you have time to push the ball downfield, and that's why he hasn't been able. As you see Kittle right here, pushes up, just a quick little 10-yard out route.
Wagner's a good athlete, but he can't cover these moves inside by Evan Ingram. They just haven't taken advantage of that enough. even in a zone defense, you still have to be. Has been the guy that when teams want to overload to Cortland Sutton and play on that side, they are not afraid to throw it deep. And you get it done just one-on-one. There's no help anywhere. It is just Moss. Trust him. He's played well. And for some reason, Moss took a little hesitation step there.
What we've seen so far is Brock Bowers lined up in that tight end position. We said it earlier, not as out as wide as much.
The Pittsburgh side of the 50, gain of 13.
We've seen this story play out before. Linebacker Jack Gibbons. Yeah, this is some of the matchups you look for when you've got an athletic tight end like you've got in Theo Johnson, and really good protection up front in his first start without Brian Dable as the head coach. They had a rather unique relationship, as Dart talked to us about it a couple of days ago. There's a look at the
throw at Surtain on this final drive, because this drive might end on one throw. Look at him, man coverage, and what it allows them to do is no matter where he is, he can take away your best, and then you slide down.
Los Angeles has turned it over in the red zone this year, and the Vegas defense comes up big.
Here's the pick action right there. There was contact made. There was no call.
Is third of the night.
You know, it's sort of intriguing here as well, because now you've got both.
Keep eyes on you and make plays to help you. Look at McConkey. Sees his quarterback in trouble and finds an open spot in his sight line. Look at him as he gets away from Chin. Here I am. Bam. First down.
To make a play on it. And you're going to see he reads it the entire way. Carlton Davis, another one of those pickups in free agency. You're not going to. Kyle Williams has been their deep threat here over the last several weeks, and that's a great shot of the accuracy I was talking about on the deep balls.
The edge of the ball to stop that thing. Hold off the defense. Stop it. That's insane. When they have to in the clutch, and it's not just their superstars doing it. That's when you know teams like this have a chance. And I say you have a chance. That position is all about with Ingram. Just going to work in there against Bobby Wagner, a little better athlete, a little better on the return route, create some space, make those throws easy.
Picks up 26.
This is just a great job.
That you don't see that, but Wagner barely had to move for this one. All right, you're going to get the rub, the pick, whatever you want to call it. He pulled back out of the way and may have just forced the corner to flinch. Same thing. And now he's looking like, okay, am I going to flinch? No way. Stays right there with deep.
To get right up the seam, right up the middle of the whole thing. And there it is. And it just parted.
Your best player, we're going to take him one-on-one. And this is the kind of coverage that you get. Let's take a look, see if there was anything to.
Inside, they clear out on the outside with a go route, and with this shell coverage, it allows Henry then to get in behind.
This little arm over action here to get open on the outside. There's Hufanga right there. Quick little move, still to the outside. And it's one of the things that Ertz still thinks that he.
Man coverage, and you can do that when you've got the kind of corners they have. Christian Gonzalez, as we talked about, he's exceptional. But even
Chargers going to empty set. You're going to see Johnson coming across your field. Ends up matched up with a linebacker and Devin White. And that's a
receiver to the far side is just going to try and create a little traffic, right? Run right into that crowd. Make McMillan run around the backside.
One of them being Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. And he throws it here to Slayton. Slayton's just able to make some people miss, and just great individual effort to get it in.
Inside 220.
Here's a look at that pass that I was talking about. It's Dane Belton. He reads it the entire way. He's right there.
Better than maybe their record has indicated in some of their numbers. They've been put in some rough situations with turnovers.
Giants don't do anything with this possession, and the penalty really cost them.
Mapu never even backpedals. He's just standing flat, waiting for the ball to come out, and then rally to the football and put a hit on Theo Johnson and Jordan.
Throw to Metcalf on an out-breaking route. Go inside, stem up, and now break out. But when he slips, Rodgers saw that.
Kayshon Boutte is one of the most improved players in the NFL this year, and he tracks that ball exceptionally well. He's got a tight split, opens up a lot.
The difference is we don't have a lot of big receivers. White does a good job, but this ball, a little bigger receiver, a little bit.
Hawkins, and he's just trying to create a play and give his guy a chance. And these are the things that he's doing this year that you didn't see a lot of last year, creating separation just at the top of the route, driving the defender off. And
to show up for this Indianapolis Colts offense. He goes up and he catches a tough contested ball in a one-on-one situation. He was just able to ride.
Stafford just extending this play, but watch Davante Adams. He's going to run this deep in route. When it's not there, you're taught to retrace. So feels the quarterback in trouble, you retrace along the back line.
Lick. First off, nice play there, overlapping there by Reed Woolen.
Moving on the field is that there was a fumble at the end of the play recovered by Minnesota. It'll be their ball, 1st and 10 from that spot.
Watch Jalen Naylor. He comes in low, knocks that ball out, and he recovered it.
But you can't teach that.
Unreal from Puka Nacua. He got up after that and added 4 more yards to what is one of the best catches you will see.
Out.
Yeah, so he's trying to just throw Jefferson to the sideline, and I don't care how long you practice. I don't care how many reps you get all week with Justin.
That's the second one of these strong-handed catches in a row with Nacua. You know, he throws it behind him, and Nacua just reaches back and plucks this thing, and more so.
The most impressive part of that is the fact that Hickman is hanging onto his left arm. He's got his arm, man coverage. James is going to be to the outside. Campbell has outside leverage, so there's nobody to the inside. And with Kittle released.
One forced fumble versus the Bills last week. Here he's going to break on this ball. Danielle Hunter gets in the face of Daniel Jones, so he's not able to step into the throw. And Bullock looking.
Just have it wobbling all over the place. So then it was just a matter of which guy was going to come back to the ball and be able to get to it. You see he's got a step, and if he's able to lay it out to the sideline, it just gets caught up in the wind. And Judy's going to be going up, so you got both guys are going to jump him. And you're going to see Fannin, he does an out and up and just sits in the window. Watch how he does a little wheel route, but he slows down so that the corner is not able to play both.
Yeah, 3rd and long, what do? You're going to go to one of your go-to guys. You know, ball just sends it in there. And look, Coker is one of these guys that I really think can be a threat in this game. There's so much attention that goes to McMillan outside and to Leggett outside. But Coker's the guy.
Dropping out, and both Zaire Franklin and Jermaine Pratt drop out. You just wonder if Jermaine Pratt might have been. Cam Bynum is coming over from the opposite hash, and Stroud just sends it too high for his receiver, and Bynum's there to collect.
Over the top, Forbes guesses wrong underneath, and what?
It's a perfect look at it here. You see Ward can stay underneath because he knows he has that.
With Stafford and the Rams' ability to get under center and run the football, it just sets up this play action so well. And obviously you get some of these big targets across the middle.
There's just nowhere to go with the ball for C.J. Stroud. He had time in the pocket. He was looking around, but everybody is locked up. Very sticky coverage on the back end from the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans are 3 for 3 on. This is just a one-on-one jump ball where CJ puts it up and hopes his guy Nico
had an opportunity here. They were clearing out that front side with double posts, and then here's Terrence Ferguson. He was actually open right away. It looked like Stafford double clutched it, didn't quite see him right away, and unfortunately got too close to the sideline. That was a missed big play opportunity for the LA Rams. You know, they do such a good job again setting up this play action and boot game, but really it's Colby Parkinson right here as the outlet to where he wants to go. Yeah, look, the orchestration was good by Bryce to be able to, you know, vacate the pocket. You know, that's the first receiver reaction, is to go deep. He waves, allows Xavier Smith to just run this, what we call a pylon route. It's this deep corner. Basically, your aiming point is the pylon.
Just runs right into the heart of the Texans defense and settles over the ball. Daniel Jones finds him. He has the most.
Veteran quarterback, you're like, hey, coach, my bad. Let's keep throwing this thing. I'm going to get back on track. A little bit of a coverage miscommunication there. Off and outside technique right here, and he's just going to slide right inside. It's an RPO throw here on 3rd and long, and honestly, I think Jalen Coker might be the secret weapon for the Carolina Panthers today.
Clear indicator from Stroud to read it and toss it.
He sure is. And he's wheeling and dealing over the center of the field. There's some openings in the middle.
Well, because of protection, you can hang on to the ball a long time. Fanning, you see the safety jump fan, and that leaves nobody behind. That's why Judy.
Yeah, just really good stuff. He's kind of covered up by Paris Johnson there, big number 70. Just kind of a vertical route there, and it just a little bit too easy.
There's Adonai Mitchell. I really like what they're doing this second half. They are challenging the secondary of the Atlanta Falcons with Adonai.
He's going to come inside, and then he's going to bounce out as the quarterback scrambles out. Watch him. Going to come inside, sit down, sees the quarterback, changes the angle of the route to the edge of the end zone.
Yeah, and just dotting your T's and checking your, or dotting your I's and checking your T's. He's on the ball, so that means Amuka's got to be off. Everything's good from a formational standpoint. Reports is eligible. All the little things we've seen a number of times this year when you have those kind of fun plays designed, but you
throw because you're going to watch him this in-cutting route across the field. Watch this ball just find its way between three Saint defenders right there.
They bring down the safety, number 23, Kevin Winston Jr. He's just sitting there. And
Bailey extension. 1, 2.
He holds on.
Touchdown.
And what a toss by Tyler Shuck.
He was completely covered. He just had a mind melt. He's going on the inside. He knows he wants to go out here and get to that receiver. So watch Rasul Douglas sit, squat. He's got help over the top, the safety. He's just out there in the flat reading the quarterback, and there he goes, Rasul.
Yeah, tough game last week for Zion McCollum, but that, that's Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, and he's the guys in that same area, right? It's going to end up being Sterling Shepard and Tez Johnson. You can see they're both going vertical. So they get kind of close together. The one that we had was...
Pass was intended for Drummond.
Yeah, that was a nice job of coverage by Stevens. You're going to see him just continue to track him, knowing that the ball may be coming.
Man, you're just trying to run this quick slant out here. Hit it off a gay. You've got that coverage from
Earl Baker. Really had a pretty good game last week on a crossing route. Ball just a little bit inside of Parker.
He needed it the most. That connection clicks.
Yeah, and Dolchich going outside the formation, then cutting back inside. Watch Tua. You see him right there stepping up. Great foot.
Oh, this is so good. You heard him talking about, watch, that's Cody Simon right there. Watch him come across as soon as he gets outflanked. Chris Godwin is coming right back inside. Yeah, coming from the top of the screen, working against Will Johnson. It's just going to press to that outside. We see it so much. The receivers in today's game are so good.
Really almost the exact same route they just threw to Washington. This time Washington is clearing out. And then Jacoby Myers, there is so much space. It's about
the coordinator with Sean McVay at the Rams, and we're watching Kyle Pitts. He gets away from Jamie and Sherwood here, makes a nice completion. Gets that first down, but
all protected in the pocket. And then look at the confusion on the safety. Kevin Winston Jr.
Going to squat on Waddle. When Waddle comes up here, watch him sit, bam, and then Waller just runs right by. I don't know, man.
Back there to break it up.
Yeah, it always starts with a little bit of pressure right here. They take care of the pressure, and then look at Dotson, just reads the quarterbacks.
Typically, teams go away from Quinyon Mitchell on the other side and attack the corner. It happens to be Adoree Jackson healthy and back and able to.
The corner outside, Humphrey comes off on the outside breaking route. Tinsley runs right by him, and you just got to keep running. When Joe It's a fantastic route.
Walker, big
yeah, this is Walker. It's a double move. He gets up inside of Dax Hill, and it's a big-time throw by Lamar, but Dax Hill just stays with it, gets the right hand in.
Ted Slott's going across, and he stops in the middle. He kind of looks. Williams is back there, too. The distribution's way off.
And he's coming up big. We saw with the vertical route earlier. This time it's an in-cut by Tinsley. It's textbook. Excellent job.
He's probably disappointed. No, he's on this crossing route on Nixon. Beats him by 2 yards.
His 34 career interceptions coming into this game. You take a risk as Jalen Hurts is trying to create. He's trying to scramble, try to make something happen. He's trying to get a receiver downfield, and there's Byard, who's got as good a range and in.
His poised love in the pocket. Ends up finding Brooks.
Watch the front end of that route. We showed the end to see if he made the catch. Watch the contact here with Hamilton as he tries to get away. John Harbaugh was yelling about that.
There's nothing on this play. Like, there's nothing. Nothing's open. Nothing's anywhere.
Anticipation. Just a simple cover two, and he gets behind Cooper. And he's off to the races.
Burrow checks, they check, eventually they bring some people, and the matchup that Cincinnati wants is Andre Yosevich on.
Look at this. High pointed, back at the end zone. We're supposed to go tap, tap.
Wilson tried to get there a little too late, though. He tried to get there to try to shove him out.
But he keeps the ball high, too, so he can't touch the ball.
What a play by Hollywood.
Just extending plays, and nobody does it better than he does. Climbs the pocket. He has people all around him. He just has a sixth sense and always has his eyes up, and his receivers really know. And why not? But you're taking a look at Joe Burrow here. You see him move. He looks comfortable. But again, the Ravens just do a good job. They call that plastering when the quarterback gets out of the...
Get your eyes back around earlier down here. The ball's already in the air. By the time he turns, he's like, where's the ball?
National Football League, they've thrown a lot of balls to each other through the years. It's just an under route, and he's just so quick and explosive, a good hands catcher. He's like a running...
He should not have thrown this ball. And Edwards, who came in as the backup, almost tips this ball perfectly.
Stepped right in front of Pickens.
I mean, that could have been intercepted by Edwards, and it almost goes beforehand.
Watch
but
this.
Look at this. Oof. Wow, this is going to be Rice just like last week. He gets up over the middle. And last week, it was versus two-man where he ran across the field. But they went...
Electricity bolt, 25 yards on that one.
Yeah, running across the field on Valentine. No one's going to keep up with him down the field.
But you're going to watch Pickens go up. McDuffie read it right away. But that ball could have been on him.
You got a running back on a corner, on a quick out. I would throw back from Jared Goff. Jamison Williams on Nixon across the field. Again, this guy is one of the most explosive players.
It's Thomas Harper, the safety.
Yeah, there he is. Wicks just sliding through the line of scrimmage, straight up the seam. Again, when I told you in the...
Abungabiga, 45. That's a very favorable matchup for Devontae Smith with that speed, but the ball is underthrown and got the right foot down as well. Very good awareness, left foot right there for the catch.
Gain of 17, all of a sudden you got a first and goal from the 4.
Plays, huge plays. Watch him coming from the backside. It's zone coverage, so he sits right between the hashes, right perfectly. 1 foot in front of the numbers. Musgrave, again, with the loss of Tucker
for a first down.
It is one-on-one with Robertson. And great throw, low into the outside. All the young quarterbacks who are watching and all the fadeaway pass. And you just can't get enough on that throw to Watson, who's a speedy. Right off play action, just like we talked about. Man-to-man coverage. Just got to keep coming back to that ball.
He comes down late, but gets in position here to defend him. Look at this ball. Great accuracy, and there's the... For the Bears, you put your top cover guy up against a tight end, but I do think at the top of the route, see if he grabs on there a little bit. Maybe not too much, but enough to... Or in one-on-one opportunity, and what you won't see is Caleb Williams throws that ball now. You know, it is out early, and they're, again, going away.